Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Frienemy Podcast, a place where best friends who hate each other get together and have various discussions. I'm your host, Mike, joined by my co-host, JP.
And guys, you are in for a special treat. We got the first guest on the Frienemy Podcast, my bestie, Victor.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm very honored to be the first guest here on the Frienemy Podcast.
Our very first guest, and if you guys remember back to our first episode, our highest ranked friend member to boot.
Thank you guys. I'm very honored for that. I'm glad that I came in third, only behind you guys.
No, you're actually only behind me.
You beat me.
I beat you?
Yeah, you beat Mike.
Yes.
So with JP excluded, you're number one.
Yeah. So, and I love it because it's canon and it's fact. These rankings are legit. That's the truth.
And we set them in stone, so they're never going to change.
We chiseled them like Moses on
You
the
could
tablets.
go out and kill somebody, you're still going to be number one.
All right.
You have that permission.
Oh, I forgot to mention, we got a new sponsor today. Nigel, could you bring me the sponsor? Okay, our sponsor is Victor's Royal Short Shorts. We put the Duke in Daisy Dukes.
Oh, so happy to have that new sponsor. One fun fact, before Victor was able to come on, he had to fight Nigel.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy about having another guest, so I had to hit him with the old dick twist to get on the show.
And Nigel's super tall, so you're like eye level with that dick.
I was. I tried to go for the headbutt first, but he saw it coming.
The headbutt. How are you going to headbutt a dude that's like 7 foot?
No, I was going to headbutt him in the dick because it was
Misunderstanding.
eye level.
All right, I
You
get
could have
it.
done the little dick twist headbutt combo if you bit it.
Oh, JP's out here biting dicks.
I'm a dirty fighter, but I normally don't bite the dicks.
Oh, okay.
So we're happy to have Victor on our podcast today. So for you guys to get to know him a little bit better, you guys have learned some intimate secrets about ourselves through our fan letters and throughout the course of the podcast. But we have a new segment for our first guest, and that's going to be the lightning round. In this segment, we're going to ask Victor numerous questions. He has to answer them as quickly as possible without thinking, just throwing out the first thing that pops in his head. Victor, are you ready?
No, but let's do this.
Okay, lightning round. So, I'm going to throw him out there. You're going to throw him back. First question. Why are you gay? Come on, lightning round. Lightning round, come on.
You know, sometimes it just, there's dudes and you want to touch their peepees, but I try to not be gay most of the time.
Okay. Grower or shower?
Grower, for sure.
For sure.
Stone Cold or The Rock?
Stone cold, man.
Oh, I don't personally like The Rock, but okay.
We're not asking you. Move on.
Favorite position?
I'm going to have to say doggy style.
Oh, nice.
I'm a missionary man myself. No eye contact.
Manscaped or all natural?
All natural. Let the hair grow.
Oh, man.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Female celebrity crush?
Wonder Woman, I guess, since we're on the DC topic. Terrible movie, by the way.
Gal Gadot. Listeners, in case. Male celebrity crush?
Jason Momoa.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a good
that's
one.
a solid- that's a solid
We got to
one.
do him one of these days.
Whoa. You got to do him
I
one
meant, you know what I meant.
He meant sex.
I meant sex. I meant what I said.
What's the grossest thing about you?
My feet.
A man's feet is supposed to stay. And our last question. Why do you hate Kyle?
Why not hate Kyle would be an easier question to answer. There's so much to pick from.
Good answer.
Nice.
We'll
Solid.
accept that. All right.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our lightning round. Hope you guys learned a thing or two about our guest, Victor. We're going to throw it over to our next segment, and that is going to be our fan letters. Every week, we get tons and tons of letters from you guys telling us what you like about the show, what you hate about the show, why you don't like JP. So we're going to get into that right now. JP, you got that first fan letter for me?
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to why they don't like me, but this one's actually to you, Mike.
Oh, boy. It says, "Hi, Frienemy Podcast. I loved your advice about when your girlfriend is stressed out. I told her to calm down, and she left the house. Probably went for a peaceful drive to chill out. My question is for Mike. Mike, I recently read that you refuse to have sex unless you have a hat on. I respect it. Does it have to be a baseball cap, or can it be another hat like a fedora? And do you take it off and get naked and then put it back on? or do you try to keep it on while taking off your clothes? Looking forward to your answer. Thank you, Jorge. Jorge, is that correct? Thank you, Jorge. P.S. Kyle is a puto. All right. Thank you, Jorge. And again, we appreciate you writing in today. It is true. I keep my hat on during sex. I don't have sex unless I have a hat on. As far as whether or not I take it off prior to the lovemaking, I actually don't. I keep it on and I keep my shirt on. So I walk around like Winnie the Pooh, just naked from the waist down. And my wife's never seen my top half without a shirt on. It hasn't interfered too much. Every once in a while, I'll hit her in the head with the bill of my cap while we're getting at it. Is that what the kids say? And it has to be a baseball cap. Only people like Kyle wear a fedora.
Okay. Or I could see Kyle wearing a bonnet.
A bonnet.
I have a follow-up question for you.
Oh, that's not part of the segment.
There we go. Yeah, we are guests.
Get a follow-up question.
Guest
It's
rules.
very related. So when it comes time where you're about to climax, do you go over the top style and turn that hat backwards?
All right. So for those of you guys that don't know, Over the Top style is reference to the movie Over the Top, starring Sylvester Stallone, in which he is a traveling truck driver that travels around the country with his son and enters arm wrestling competitions. And prior to winning, he turns his cap backwards. So to answer your question, Victor, you have to, yes, every single time. As I'm about to, make my O face, that hat goes backwards. It goes from 12 o'clock all the way to 6 o'clock, baby. Ready to go.
That's cool. Do you pull your penis out and do the hand grip and put it back in before you take the hat around?
Hand grip? Explain.
Remember in Over the Top, when he turns the hat around, he switches the hand grip.
Oh, I'm not aware of that.
Yeah.
So no.
No. Okay.
No hand grip. I'm not that fancy.
Oh, okay.
Like I said earlier, it's missionary all day, no eye contact.
Now, is this some trauma that caused this hat, or is it just a preference?
It's a preference. I saw the movie Over the Top when I was really little, so it might have been like really influential to me growing up, and I just figured you got to have the hat on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jorge. I agree. Kyle is a puto.
We got one more fan letter for you guys. We're going to kick it over to our guest Victor to read this one. Victor, if you wouldn't mind.
All right, here we go. Dear Frienemy Podcast, longtime listener, first time writing fan mail. I felt compelled to write this after your bit on not using the boxer hole to piss. You, sirs, are missing out. If you wear a belt, it's so much easier to simply unzip and rip than to have to undo your belt, unbutton the top button, unzip your jeans, pull your pee-pee out, and then put everything back after you made whiz on JP's doorstep. He peed on your doorstep, JP. You both strike me as open-minded, so give it a try. You may love it. Also, am I the only one who pulls my balls out when going over the top is necessary? It feels weird to pull out just the dong, without the sack. Lastly, I wish I would have seen this podcast before getting married. I would have challenged my father-in-law to a fight to the death. Instead, I took my fiance to the top of the most beautiful hike in Utah, Angel's Landing, to propose. This wasn't to be sentimental and cute. It was so she knew that if she said no, she was going over that 1,500-foot cliff. Been happily married ever since. Yours always, KW.
Thank you for reading that, Victor. And thank you, KW, for writing in. We always appreciate the feedback. Man, there's a lot to cover there. JP, do you want to start?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. First off, when I get back home, I have to pee on my doorstep to reestablish a dominance like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is, I thought he was a total psycho when he said he uses the dick hole. That's fucking crazy. But the saving grace is that he pulls his balls out over the top. Now, if he was just to leave his balls in just the dingling, he's crazy. That's an insane person right there who uses the hole primarily and just leaves the balls tucked in.
I have to agree. I think it's so weird that if somebody just goes over the top with just the shaft and not the balls, because I feel like it pinches, right?
Yeah.
Am I alone in that or no? Like, I feel like everything needs it. Like, it's a package. That's why they call it a package. It's a package deal. Like, everything goes over the top.
Definitely, and then your balls help keep your underwear down, so they don't just flip up and then you pee all over yourself. It's a whole mess. like a ball anchor.
Yeah. I mean, plus, imagine how if someone would accidentally like gaze at your meat, it would look like Pinocchio looking over a wall. Like you can't just have balls.
And going back to the question on whether or not you use the hole, I'm still not sold on the hole.
I'm not sold. I think he's got a weird dick. I think he has a squid dick.
He's got something weird going on down there. And I mean, how hard is it just to undo your belt? He talked about like wearing a belt, like just undo the belt, pull it out like a normal person. He's obviously done that before. He has experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, who goes to the superior way and then back to the inferior way?
I agree.
And that means he's not only going through his boxer hole, but through his jeans hole, because he's not even untying his belt.
And to piggyback on what Victor just said, that's a very dangerous proposition, because if we've learned anything from the famous movie
Something About Mary
is you can, if you're not careful, oof, that zipper, I get scared whenever my thing's around a zipper, just in general. I mean, it's a jagged edge, soft skin and jagged edge. That just doesn't meld well with me.
And who wrote this letter?
It says here KW.
I gotta just come out and say it. I think the writer has a very small penis.
Based on what he said in his letter, I have to agree.
Yeah, because that makes sense then. You just little... Oh, you can't... Sorry, fans. You can't see what I did, but I spread the hole with pinching.
Again, JP's over here pantomiming shit. You guys just have to use your imagination, I guess.
KW. That's an alias. You think it's like a...
Who could that be?
Kerry Washington?
Ooh, maybe. Maybe she has a penis. She's busting out a penis. Or Kanye West. Could it be Kanye West? Could it be Kanye West? I mean, our audience is branched out. I mean, we have, at this point, so many subscribers getting fan letters every day. I wonder if Kanye is a listener.
Yeah, or a KW, maybe Conald Wump?
Conald Wump?
Wump?
Maybe somebody trying to hide their identity.
Yeah, because what if this goes on Twitter?
Oh, you're right. Victor, do you have any speculation as to who KW might be?
I mean, I once met a Cane Weasel.
Cane Weasel.
Maybe that's it.
He sounds like he's good at baseball.
Cane Weasel sounds right to me. This sounds like a very Cane Weasley letter.
Yeah. Cane Weasley with the micro.
There's so many options. I mean, Kurt Warner, former quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, the Rams. Ken Watanabe from Inception might be an Asian gentleman. We don't know.
Kenny Woobier. I knew a Kenny Woobier.
Kenny Woobier? Yeah. Oh, man. So many options. But whoever you are out there, KW, we appreciate the letter. Another one that we get you guys' feedback and we read it on our podcast. Love to have it.
Write me. Send it to my Instagram or send it to Mike's. Any letters, any suggestions, any questions for the relationship advice. Like I said, we're here for you.
We are. And with that being said, I think that concludes this week's fan letters. We're going to move on to our next topic, and that is this week's man movie.
Man movie.
Victor, what is this week's man movie?
It happens to be my favorite movie of all time, Rocky IV.
Rocky IV. This is a good one. I really enjoy all of the Rocky series, and having Rocky IV, probably the pinnacle of Rocky, on today's podcast is really exciting. Victor, can you give us like a quick just overview of what Rocky IV is?
All right. Well, Rocky IV is the continued story of Sylvester Stallone, a slug-it-out boxer who's now on top. In this particular part, Rocky's friend Apollo Creed has been murdered in the boxing ring by the big bad Russian. And he goes out to train to defend his friend's honor in Russia.
Spoilers, by the way, just to get that out there. We are going to spoil the movie. So with that being said, that's a perfect synopsis of what ends up happening in this movie. We're going to move into our first man grade, start getting these things graded. JP, what do you give Rocky IV in the category of action?
You know, A+, baby.
A+?
A+. You got the coveted montage, first off. Mm-hmm. Anything with a montage is almost always an A. You get at least an A-. Your movie could be horrible. Montage, A-. And also, steroids, boxing, death, killing somebody with your bare hands, triumph, defeat, just A+, action.
A+ from JP. Victor, if you had to rate Rocky IV in the action category, what are you going to give it?
I also give it A+. I mean, there's murder in it. and there's all kinds of slow motion. I know when you guys were giving the synopsis of what makes a man movie, there has to be slow motion fight scenes in it.
Oh man, that is delightful. I'm enlightened.
That comment right there is almost, like, that should almost be its own category. It's like, what does this movie have slow motion or not?
Yes.
That we might have to revise.
This
our
is
man
why
grades.
you're the first guest.
Man. All right,
Yeah.
do not disappoint. All right, I'm gonna give it an A plus. It would be odd of me to give it anything other than that. I'm not gonna retread what you guys said. I think you guys summed it up perfectly. We're gonna move into our next man grade, and that is dialogue. Victor, what do you give Rocky IV in the category of dialogue?
It is my favorite movie, but I'm gonna have to drop it down to a B plus. Can't really remember it doesn't have a lot of one-liners, but it definitely has great dialogue.
JP?
A plus, baby. A plus. If I could change, and you could change, we could all change. And then I will break you. Just, yeah.
Oh
A
man,
plus.
I forgot. And then he's like, he's made of iron. He's made of iron.
He's not a human.
I take my grade back. I give it an A plus. Man,
That is perfectly allowed in this segment.
You guys got really excited during that part. If you're listening with headphones, I apologize. The volume level went through the roof on that one. These guys are hyped about it. In A plus, I'm gonna give it an A for the reasons stated. I think it's fantastic. I love all those lines. It's really good. Apollo Creed coming out. Man, there's so much. We're gonna move on to our next man grade, and that's gonna be in the category of 80s boob. JP, what do you give it?
Solid B plus. The only thing that would have got it an A if there was women's boobs. Ivan Drago, Sylvester Stallone, 80s titty, A B plus. Solid. That's some well-formed, developed pecs.
Victor.
you know, I wasn't gonna give it that high of a grade until you mentioned the man 80s boob, because Apollo Creed is also jacked. However, the women in there aren't the best looking. Ivan Drago's wife has the exact same haircut as him.
The high top fade.
The high top fade, and I believe she wears a suit with the shoulder pads, so kind of the same frame. So I'm gonna have to leave it at a B.
I think she's hot. I think she looks hot. So I'm gonna give it, but I'm gonna follow you along. I'm gonna give it a B. And that's pretty high for not actually having any female boob. But as JP said, the man boob on display in this movie, and I don't think we should be biased. I think the man boob is amazing. So I think that's a solid grade. So we're gonna move into our last ranking category, and that is the overall manliness that is Rocky IV. Victor, give it to us.
Oh, I gotta give it a straight A plus. It hits all the categories. It has the training montages. I mean, he runs up a mountain in the snow with a log on his back. Also, he has the ultimate bromance. His friend dies and he avenges his death.
JP?
That's solid. You know what? A plus. And this might be the manliest movie we've ever had on this show. With Predator. Predator, we're gonna have to do Predator again with the man grades.
I agree.
Because as of right now, man grades, manliest movie that we've done.
We never graded Bloodsport either.
Oh.
So, I mean,
that's a good
that's a
point.
pretty manly movie, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it an A for the reason you guys said. It's up there. This movie is jam-packed with just manliness all around, overflowing with the man stuff. I want to ask you guys a quick question regarding Rocky IV. What is the better training montage, Rocky IV or Rocky III? What do you guys think? Because I enjoy the Rocky III montage, running on the beach, him with Apollo Creed training together, them in the ring. I love all that stuff. What do you guys think?
For me, it's gonna be Rocky IV because of the dynamic between him and the Russian. The Russian is in this high-tech facility with the steroids and the machines. He's running laps, hitting speed bags for no reason, while Rocky's out in the snow. He's running. He has no training partners. He's isolated. I do like Rocky III, especially. Believe that's the movie where they take him to the black people's gym to learn rhythm to be able to fight.
Yes,
Mr. T.
Los Angeles. He goes to Los Angeles to learn to jump rope.
And that's why I like it. He actually goes with his rival's training coach in order to prepare for his fight. And I appreciate that part. JP, what do you think?
I have to go with Rocky IV just because now there's a condition that a man could develop, and it's called bitch in your heart. And it's a serious condition. And Rocky is one of my favorite athletes of all time, but Rocky 3, he had a serious case of bitch in his heart. And that whole montage scene is getting that bitch out. So I like Rocky 4 because he's already bitch free, ready to go.
It just has, he shook off the bitchness. He's ready to go. I appreciate that. Again, the montage in Rocky 4 is fantastic. As Victor pointed out, the contrast between the two athletes training, I think that makes for a great montage. I think that soundly wraps up this week's Man Movies. You guys have anything else to add on it?
Nope, solid.
Solid around. Great man movie. All right, so we're going to move on to our next segment.
This is a fan favorite, and I'm really excited about this one. And it is, Would You Touch His Pee-Pee?
Would you touch his Pepe?
This week's person is it's very dynamic here. We're hitting you a little more trickery. We tricked you last week. You know, you guys weren't expecting that. So now we're gonna trick you again. This week's person is Victor, and he's here in the studio.
Oh!
We tricked you, Victor.
This is a little bit awkward.
All right.
All right.
So one of the things that we like to get into right away is like some of your stats. How tall are you, Victor?
I'm 5'10".
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 180.
180. 5'10", 180.
Dong size.
Undisclosed.
Disclose, all right. Oh,
that-
mystery.
That big question mark. You know, this is your opportunity. You could have said like, hey, it's 16 inches.
I like to keep them guessing.
5 feet. You know, we're keeping the tradition. We do not know anyone's dong size that we've reviewed so
That's
far.
true.
So, okay.
Still a mystery. Victor, would you care to show us?
Definitely not.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get into some of the things that make Victor pee touching worthy. Okay. So he's pretty shredded.
Yeah.
You guys were here in the studio. Victor's pretty shredded.
Yes.
He's very fashion forward. He was the first person in our friend group to ditch the baggy pants, except for Mike, because he was a nerd and he wasn't allowed to wear baggy pants.
That's true.
But Victor was the fitted jeans first. First one to wear the little shorts. You know.
I've always admired his overall athleticism. I think out of the group, he's A+ when it comes to athleticism. Always out there putting in work every single day. You see it on his Instagram. This guy puts in the work, and I've always respected that.
And even though I hate Kyle and he always says stupid things, he once said that Victor looked like an action figure.
I appreciate that.
That's a solid.
So we've covered some of the positive aspects of Victor. What are some of the cons?
Some of the cons of Victor, well, he's hairy.
He's hairy,
He's
man.
real hairy, you know.
I'm like 4 feet away from him. I can feel his hair from here.
And you know, in the lightning round, if you didn't catch it, he's also all natural. So
Why don't you trim?
Like back
Not
there.
even a little bit. You gotta
No.
mow that bush down a little bit.
No, you just gotta come at them with all the hair.
he probably looks like he wears the briefs from the caveman times, like made out of mastodon hair.
And the hair's all sticking out from the sides of it.
He got them double underwear. He pulls his underwear off, and he got another one.
You got to trim that down, man. You got that front yard with the grass growing all crazy. That house that nobody wants to go to.
Like, I'm about to call the city, are you?
I don't know if you guys ever watched the Zohan, but you need the cushion there for the pushing.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
All
It's
right.
like airbag, man.
Firing back.
Not me. I'm like a ripped seal down there. It's all skin and grease.
Ripped seal.
Seal.
All right. That's a new one.
Looking like an old baby over there.
Like a baby holding an apple.
He still wears glasses. What a
Yeah,
nerd.
he hasn't got the LASIK. That's what dropped Luis under.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Come on, modern technology exists. Get rid of those things. Anything else? What else? Nothing else? That's pretty good about his negatives. I think
the
that sums
negatives.
it
Yeah,
up.
he has more positives than negatives.
That's true. So with that being said, Chick P.
Okay, so we're sending it over to me.
Yeah, would you touch Victor's pee?
Okay, so he's shredded.
He has eye contact right now.
Yeah, he's shredded. Okay, like that. That thick black hair. I like that. But the answer is no. I would not touch Victor's pee-pee, and the primary reason is because me and Victor do a lot of jujitsu together. Mm-hmm. I touch his pee-pee once, he's always gonna think I'm there to touch his pee-pee. I'm gonna lose my training partner. No, I will not touch Victor.
All right. Well, it then sends it over to me, and you're asking me would I touch his pee-pee? It's like, oh yeah, I want to touch this guy's pee-pee. Victor, come here, give me that pee-pee.
You stay over there, sir.
He's fighting me off right now. We have trained in the past together, and full disclosure, whether it was accident or not, I've touched your BB.
Oh, you've already
I've already. We have
This is a first.
This is a first for the segment. I've got that PP. So I think that pretty much sums up.
Yeah, so the answer is not only will you, but you have.
Yes, I have. I got it. I think that sums up this week's Would You Touch His Pepe? So we're going to throw it over to everyone's favorite segment, the one that gets the most positive feedback every week, and that is JP's Drawing Corner.
Shibbity-doo-wop, doo-wop.
What do you got this week, JP?
This week, you know, my art is a reflection of life. And I was just pumped that we had a guest, and the guest is the subject of my art today. This is Victor eating at a British restaurant. And as you can see, today's special is spotted dick. For people of you who don't know, spotted dick it's a British pudding dessert. And you can see in the caption, Victor says, "This ain't dick, it's pudding."
And he looks angry about it. Now, one thing I've noticed right off the bat, do you have a problem drawing legs? Because last week's drawing, the Spider-Man, did not feature legs.
I was looking at this and I thought it looked familiar. It looks just like Spider-Man peanut. You know, am I eating pudding or am I peeing in a cereal bowl?
Well, you know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
Is Victor Spider-Man? I've never seen Victor Spider-Man at the same time.
Is that the next logical question? It's a valid question.
You know, my favorite part about this drawing, besides the fact that it's me,
It's of you.
is that you can see my abs completely over my shirt.
How tight is that shirt?
Well, like I said, you know, many of you don't know, Mike is an accomplished artist himself, but he deals more in cartoons. I call my art realism.
It is.
And that's why Victor is really buff, and you can see his abs through his shirt.
Now-
This is real.
I have another question. We have so many questions.
So many questions.
The two captions on the top, are those captions
No.
or are they TVs?
They're little signs.
They're signs.
They're signs.
And as everyone knows,
Yeah.
you hold up a sign with two sticks.
Yes.
Are they standing on the wall? Why
Yeah,
do they have the
standing.
stands?
It's called depth. And I know your untrained artistic eyes aren't unaware of these steps, but this gives depth to the picture.
Okay. All right.
It's also a very large table. That's why
It's a very large table.
Very large
What is
table.
and what is sticking up from the bowl?
spotted dick.
Oh, you said it was a pudding.
Spotted dick. It's like a square pudding. Have you ever seen a picture? of
No, I
spotted
haven't.
dick? Oh, okay.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I'll have to feature a picture in there for everybody else to see it. It'll be my first time seeing it as well. I'm assuming it's going to look vastly different from what you've drawn.
Probably. I mean, if you Google a cartoon spotted dick, it's not going to look real.
Victor, do you have anything else to say about this autobiographical portrait?
Nope, I think that's it.
Solid.
All right, I think that sums up this week's segment of JP's Drawing Corner.
Shibbity-doo-wop, doo-wop.
All right, we're going to send it over to our next segment. And this one we get a lot of feedback on too. And you guys write in. We appreciate the questions. And we're always here to give you guys solid advice that you guys are looking for. This week's segment of relationship advice. And we have a question from one of our listeners. And it says, "My girlfriend doesn't like my friends. What do I do?"
Oh, man. I wish I could tell you just get a time machine and go back and get a different girlfriend.
Yep.
That
The
would
answer to
solve
that
it.
is get a new girlfriend.
But if you're gonna stick through it, even though dumb, it's commendable, you know. Okay, you gotta just train her, right? You gotta like
Like in a circus?
you gotta Pavlov her.
What?
You know, the classical conditioning.
I don't think that's how you pronounce it at all.
How what is
Pavlov.
it? Pavlov. How do you say that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pavlov.
Pavlov. There you go. You gotta Pavlov her.
Pavlov.
Pavlov. Yeah. Okay. Pavlov. All right. You got to Pavlov her. What you got to do is
And who is this guy?
this is Pavlov. He's a he's a psychiatrist.
Okay, all right.
That invented classical conditioning.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So what you do is you invite your friends over on purpose, right?
Uh-huh.
When your friend rings the doorbell and she sees it's him, you give her a treat. Then you send your friend home. Then the next day, you do it again. Friend comes over, knocks on the door. You give her a treat. Send him home. Then finally, on the third day, she's going to be conditioned to think, oh, doorbell friend means I get a treat. And now you tricked her into liking your friends.
Ooh, Victor, do you have anything to say about that?
That's a really in-depth observation you have there. So you're all about the positive reinforcement. We're not going with any negative reinforcement.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time. Sometimes negative reinforcement is needed.
That was my first knee-jerk response, is to yell at her. Get very negative, get very defensive. Defend your friends to the end. I mean, come on, these are your friends. They were here before her, and they're going to be here long after she dies.
Okay, so what do you yell?
You yell, hey, these are my friends, woman. I don't know. That's about it. That's all I did.
Okay.
I yelled at my wife once, these are my friends, woman. And that settled it.
That's a good approach. Victor, what would you do?
I think I would introduce electroshock therapy. And I may or may not have done this. Actually, JP and my wife know each other. And upon their first meeting, he actually stomped on her cookie in the middle of the schoolyard.
Oh, yeah?
He's also thrown a grasshopper in her head. And
Not on her head, in her head.
in her head.
He threw it with such force.
Oh, in her ear. It was in her head. And he's also, in an attempt to tackle me, slammed her head into a wall. But she likes him a lot. So, electroshock therapy.
This sounds like he's been trying to kill your girlfriend.
I appreciate your triumphantness of her liking me, Victor.
That escalated quickly. That really got out of hand.
I like to go with concrete evidence, and I have it. So, I don't know what kind of problem you're having, man. You need to do something.
I think that's some solid advice, listener.
I once heard some terrible advice, and they were just like, choose better friends, choose better girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
I mean, they must not have the friends I have, because that's literally impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
oh,
thank you.
Oh, that's so nice. Any other advice you'd like to give this gentleman?
I gave you an in-depth psychoanalysis, so I'm good.
Yeah, we got Pavlov talking over here.
Pavlov.
Pavlov. I think that wraps up this week's installment of relationship advice. So this week we covered a new sponsor. You guys got to learn a lot more about Victor through our lightning round. We covered some of your fan letters. Covered an amazing man movie in Rocky IV. I touched some peepees. I don't know about you guys. Got to discover some of JP's art in his drawing corner and give you guys some solid relationship advice. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Anything to add, JP?
Yes, actually. I think I'm going to go ahead and let Victor handle this.
Okay.
Thank you guys for having me. And what's up, Ryan?
Obligatory Ryan reference. Thank you guys for listening. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, share the episode with your friends, with your family. It really helps the channel out. Thank you guys for the love and support. Later.